Oh, okay. Okay, good evening. This is the Technology Subcommittee meeting for July 1st. I'm going to call the meeting to order. So I'll start with a roll call. I'm Christopher Plunker. I'm the chair of the subcommittee. So we'll start on this side of the room.
Jim Barth.
Andrew Sukforth, not on the committee.
Aaron Goldrick.
Sherry Costant.
Wayne Sula.
And Stephen Linus.
Okay, so our last meeting was in April. We've had two meetings so far since the subcommittee started, since it was formed. First meeting was in February, second meeting was in April. At that time, Brian Day was the chair of the subcommittee. Since he resigned from the select board, he's obviously no longer the chair of the subcommittee. I have not seen any meeting minutes yet. We are still trying to locate those meeting minutes. So I apologize. We're basically going to be kind of starting from scratch. With that, I don't even recall. Andrew, do you know who was the vice chair?
I don't know who it was.
Okay. Did anybody recall who the vice chair was?
I don't believe there was.
Okay.
Or was it?
Okay, so.
Or was it Bob?
The person in front, or
Was it
the
Bob?
IT director?
Yeah, maybe it was.
Oh,
Maybe it was
maybe it's
Bob.
Bob.
I think it might have been Bob.
That would be a sensible. Okay, so, as I noted, Bob Ganali, will be joining us shortly. Okay, so everybody has copies in front of them, the agenda, some of the supporting documents, regarding the website that was provided by a town administrator. Thank you. Pledge of allegiance. I think I followed the agenda. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And okay, so agenda item number 3, discuss and possible vote on chair and vice chair. So since the chair position is vacant, actually, sorry, when I started the meeting, I announced I was the chair. So I guess that was out of order. Chair has not been appointed yet, so strike that from the record. Anyway, so I will accept a motion for nomination for the chair. Is there any interest in anybody being the chair? I don't want to assume that everybody's looking at me. Okay, so with that, I will accept the nomination for myself as chair. I'll accept the motion. Am I saying it right? I'm not used to doing this.
I know.
I'm not chair of any committees. I used to be FinCom, but that was a little more. Anyway, so I will entertain a motion. Okay, there you go. I'm getting it right. For nomination for chair.
I move to nominate Chris Plonka as chair of this committee.
Okay, so hold on, I gotta get my notes. So Sherry made motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I forgot everybody's name.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Aaron. Okay, still. Aaron second. Okay. Do we need a roll call vote, or can we just do a?
Yeah.
It's always a roll call.
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Yes.
Last name.
Barth. Jim.
Goldrick. Yes.
Costant, yes.
Sula, yes.
Linus, yes.
Okay. Oh, and Luck eye. So, so unanimous. Thank you. We'll confirm if Mr. McNally, to the best of his recollection, if he is the vice chair once he arrives. If so, then that will remain. If not, we will discuss reappointing the vice chair. Okay. Agenda item number 4. discussion of minutes. So as I noted, we haven't found it yet. Brian is looking for them. Maybe he'll find them. He's looking. So I apologize. We have no minutes to vote on or approve. Okay. Before let's go to item number 7. I think that'll help me before we jump back to agenda item number 6, which is the select board charge. So introduction of members. So it's been a long while since we all met. So let's reset, introduce everybody. And now that I attended the other meetings, but I wasn't a voting member because I was on the finance committee, so I couldn't formally be on the committee. So now that I'm a formal member, I do need to, again, reset and understand what experience members bring to the committee, okay? So with that, I'll start out with my experience. So I have a master's in MIS. I got that a long time ago. I have 2 IC squared certifications, CISP, Certified Information System Security Professional, as well as the CSSP Cloud Certified Security Professional. I work for a defense contractor in cybersecurity, and specifically I do third-party risk management. So my experience has been, I'm not a technical person, but my background has been cybersecurity policy. I've done some system engineering work, requirements design, what else? Writing test plans and so forth. I did that for a little bit. I did IT compliance, so I'm very knowledgeable when it comes to the world of compliance, especially like stuff like ISO certifications and CIS benchmarks, which is what our cyber trust report is based off of, the CIS benchmarks. So that is my experience. So as we go around the room, a general overview of what your experience has been, what skill set you offer to the group, and then also let me know, are you a network guy, database guy, solutions architect, so forth, policy or whatever. So that kind of helps me frame out too. Okay, so we'll start with
Jim.
Jim. Go.
So I have a computer networking degree, also electronics engineering degree. I currently work for Meditech. I do end user software to hospitals around the world. I deliver software, analyze it, write code.
So you're a software engineer?
Well, untrained software engineer,
Okay.
but trained by
Good.
the company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. You're a software engineer.
And 90% of my job is troubleshooting.
Excellent. You do like service desk type work, or is it strictly just maybe tier 3 or something like that? Tech support?
I am, if stuff comes to me that can't get fixed
Good. Okay. Good. Okay.
or figured out, and then I have to analyze stuff and see why it's not working.
Sure. Okay. So definitely get some system engineering experience.
Yes, tons.
Good. Any experience with cloud support?
A little bit, some GCP stuff.
Yep.
But
Is many tech all in fully cloud based?
they're half and half.
Really?
We still have a lot of end users that want to resort to CloudWave, and we just deliver our client MTAD to them, and they install it throughout. So,
You still have an on-prem service?
Yep,
Really? That's interesting.
yep, all in Canton.
Really?
Yeah. We now offer Meditech as a service, which is we host all of our own equipment, and we realized we got a little bit too big for that, and so we decided to introduce it to some of the equipment to CloudWave and working on some lease agreements. But when I was in the ground floor for kicking off Meditech as a service, a lot of the policies and standard procedures that they have now kind of help with a team, and came up with what needs to be done. But that's when we only had like a dozen clients. Now we have like 600. So
Wow.
we can't hold that kind of infrastructure in house.
Sure. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Wow. very good. Interesting, they're still using on-prem. So I'll just talk briefly. So my experience with, again, I'm not a technical person, but I work for General Dynamics, obviously one of the largest defense contractors in the world, and we're fully 100% cloud-based using Azure, and we have AWS kind of for some other specialty application services. So we're 100% cloud-based. We're obviously leveraging the latest technology when it comes to collaboration and access controls and so forth. And being a defense contractor, we have to comply with the federal government's high standards, FedRAMP certifications and so forth, in order to do business with them. So I'm fully up on the latest in today's cybersecurity standards, as well as, like I said, collaboration, fully cloud-based, ease of access. It's, you know, for us employees to be able to get to any network, you can do it from any laptop. Nowadays, that technology allows that, whereas, I'll give you an example of the town still using technology where only the town laptop can access the network. And there's security reasons for that, but again, technology today has moved past that. So we'll talk a little bit more later on about some of the things that we want, that I have ideas, and we'll share with the committee on where we want to get the town in regards to security, collaboration, ease of use, and so forth. Okay, thanks. Wayne.
My name is Aaron Goldrick.
Aaron. Jeez. Who's Wayne?
That'd be
Oh,
me.
Wayne. It is Wayne. Aaron. Okay, it's going to take me a little while, but I apologize.
No
Okay,
problem.
Aaron. Thank you.
I have a degree in technology forensics.
Ooh, interesting.
But my background is really mostly in working for managed service providers. So networking, virtualization,
Ooh,
SANs,
yeah.
local storage, pretty much whatever a company would need to, get up and running.
Yeah.
I'm currently working for a software company called Comprise, where it's a semi-managed service. We have pieces of our product in their network. We'll scan your file servers and see how much data hasn't been accessed in over 5, 10, 20 years. Then we'll move it to AWS, Azure,
Sure.
or wherever you want to put it. Could be an on-prem, another data center, things like that. And then we leave behind a link so it's transparent to the end users.
So do you facilitate and helping the customers migrate to the cloud storage?
As part of our product, we have a migration tool. Yes, we've helped a lot of companies take all stuff off their NetApps or the Isilons and migrate out to like Azure files or NetApp files, some product like that sits in the cloud. My role at Comprise now as an architect is to work with especially our larger corporate customers, integrate our product into their environment successfully, identify any issues on the network, why is this going so slow, kind of thing, because, you have like 20 firewalls between your file server and us, and that's the problem, things like that.
Interesting.
And then along with that, I also set up and configured our testing lab, which consists of about 10 or so ESXi hosts, VPN tunnels from different sites, AWS, to our office, to a colo facility, and I just maintain that as needed, networking and hypervisors.
Cool. So you get some experience with networking and so forth, LANs and stuff like that?
Absolutely, I set up all their internal routing, even using layer 3 switching to do VLAN routing, but to create isolation for testing environments and for infrastructure, things like that. We still need a domain controller
Sure.
for testing, things like that.
Yeah. Great. Good.
So-
Great. Good. Thank you. Sherry?
You're welcome.
Good, you don't mind. I hope you do. Anyway.
Yeah, I won't forget you.
Yeah, so I'm Sherry Costant. My background is more as an IT generalist. I have a business degree. I ended up in IT through a great set of circumstances, and everything I learned was really on the job. So I've managed a help desk. I've had my hands in a lot of the different technologies that these gentlemen have spoken about already, just not so in depth. So I have experience with networks, with SANs, with virtualization specifically at the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
I spent a lot of time on Windows servers. Microsoft Exchange was really, if I had an area of expertise, that's the thing I spent the most time on. Supporting end users, if it plugged into the wall, I helped make it work.
You've done some desktop support,
Yeah.
you said? Okay, good.
Yeah,
Help
so,
desk, I meant to say help desk support, help
Yeah.
desk.
yeah, so my experience kind of runs the gamut. And I manage a team, teams of various sizes depending on the employer I was at. Mostly I worked at software companies. My last IT specific job was for a contract research organization out in Wareham. So had to deal with audits and things like that because, we're doing scientific research for companies like Monsanto and others. So there were a lot of guidelines we had to adhere to. That was all new to me, having previously been in software, now in a whole different place. So
Good.
I don't have a ton of hands-on experience with cloud technologies.
It's okay, yeah.
Just sort of, the company had some layoffs right around the time that we were actually getting into a lot of that. So I just never really got my teeth into that yet.
Good, okay, great. All right, thank you. Wayne?
Wayne Sula. I am, without a doubt, the unicorn of the group. I don't have a lick of IT experience in me, other than...
But you have a passion.
What's that?
You have passion.
I have passion, yes.
There you go, that's all we want.
So, my history is, I'm a mechanical engineer by training, have an MBA as well. My start was in the defense industry for manufacturing expendable sensors for anti-submarine warfare.
Who'd you work for?
A couple companies. One was called Hazeltine, which is now defunct, and then Sipicam, Ocean Systems down in Marion.
Okay, I've heard of them, yeah.
Yeah. So I began to kind of transition out of the defense industry more into the environmental instrumentation and sensor technology area. And there I kind of use my engineering background in a sales and business development role. So kind of still had my fingers in the manufacturing area to a great extent. Worked for a couple of different companies there. Did receive my Six Sigma black belt, which is I'm pretty proud of actually.
Yeah,
That's for those of you who maybe aren't familiar with that. It's a pretty rigorous training program that helps you to lead groups that have a known problem with no known solution, and to try to help them come to what needs to be fixed. And that could be on the shop floor or it can be in a business environment.
Yeah, I am familiar with that certification. I've worked with folks, and I understand how difficult it is.
Yeah. So my interests really are to try to help the town and this group from a technology perspective, but not necessarily always IT focused, right?
Okay.
There are other technology tools that the town uses that might not be IT centric, that they either have or maybe should consider.
Sure.
So that's kind of what I think I bring to the group.
Good, great, thank you.
Yep.
Steve?
Hi, Steve Linus. I'm the delegate from the police department. I've been with the police department for like 30 years now. I have a master's degree in criminal justice with a concentration in crisis management. Don't have any degrees in IT. Everything I've learned it on the job. I just oversaw the implementation of our brand new computer system, RMS CAD system, from server based to a cloud base. That was a long drawn out process with the help of Bob's. But that's all I have.
Okay, great, thank you. We're just, you got the gist. You know what we're doing.
Yeah, Bob McNally, Green River Associates, currently the managed service provider for the town of Lakeville. We've been providing IT services to the town for about 6 years now. Background is been doing this for longer than I care to state. Started Green River back in 1999. So as Green River with my company, we've been doing this for well over 20 years at this point. Heavy focus on security. A lot of our clients are banks and credit unions, so we are used to having the extra layer of security with firewalls, cyber, basically the whole gamut. Providing that kind of services is not something that's new to us, because it's the thing to do now. We've been doing this for a very long time. We're used to being audited and examined by the federal government, the NCUA, the FDIC, the Federal Reserve, basically come in and monitor our work, and we're trying to provide that same level of service to the town, bring that extra awareness of cyber and extra level of security to IT of the town.
Great, thanks, Bob. So before we move on, Bob, do you recall, before you arrived, I got your message, by the way, so I was aware that you were running late, thank you. We have had 2 meetings when Brian was running it. We had a February meeting and an April meeting. Brian is still looking for meeting minutes, so we're basically starting from scratch. Do you recall if you were appointed the vice chair?
I was not.
You were?
No.
Okay, so I was appointed the chair of the committee, unanimous vote. So we now need to identify a vice chair, somebody who can obviously act on my behalf if I schedule a meeting, can't make it, and so forth. So is there any interest? Don't all raise your hands at once.
I guess I can take that on. It doesn't seem to be.
Look at you, Bob.
I will take on that.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to appoint Bob McNally as vice chair of the technology subcommittee.
So moved.
Thank you. Second,
Second.
that was Wayne.
Second, yep.
Wayne. Thank you, Wayne. Second. Okay, so roll call.
Barth, yes?
Aaron Goldrick, yes?
Costan, aye.
Sula, yes.
Lena's aye.
McNally, aye.
And Plug eye. Thank you, unanimous. Congratulations, Bob.
Welcome aboard.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda, new business. Okay, so we did the introduction of members. Okay, the subcommittee select board charge. Did we get a copy of that? We did, thank you, Andrew.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Where would I be without a fantastic town administrator helping me along? Okay, so our technology advisory committee was included in the packet. It was updated by Wayne. Yes, thank you, Wayne. I did review it. I don't have any changes. Did everybody get a chance to review it? The changes, yes. The original and the changes that Wayne made. Is there, and nothing that says later on, if we feel we're going in a different direction, we can certainly update it. Andrew, refresh my memory. If we approve it here, we just let the select board know.
They would have to adopt the.
Oh, okay. Select board would vote on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody have any changes or adds they'd like to? No?
Well, Chris, my only thought, I think I like the edits in it. The thing that comes into my mind under challenges presented, we should also mention the last sentence says it's led to a fractured infrastructure where we're unable to fully utilize the resources that are available or potentially compromise data security. We also can't take advantage of economies of scale. It's a lot better when you're trying to get a product that, you know, you can have more users on it. You get you can usually take advantage of discounts when you can apply something across multiple departments instead of just one.
Oh, I was listening to what you were saying, Sherry,
Yes.
but I was trying to find it where it said in the charge.
It's
And what
under,
challenges
it's under
presented.
challenges presented,
Yep, I
and
say,
it's the last sentence.
we have, witnessed moments where departments did not know right where others,
No, I think she's in the first paragraph.
oh, first paragraph.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the
okay,
first
thank you. Yep.
paragraph, the last sentence of
Oh,
the
okay.
first paragraph, my
It-
apologies.
This has led to a fractured infrastructure where we are unable to fully utilize the resources that are available, potentially compromise days. Okay, and you,
And take advantage of economies of scale,
sure.
just sort of adding some language
Okay.
around
Yeah,
that.
that's good. Yeah.
How about and leverage? How do we want to say that? And leverage technology. I know what you're saying with economies of scale. We're leveraging. Do you want to say leveraging economies of scale? Technology economies of scale? No.
But you're kind of referring to budget.
I'm really referring to
Ye-
it financially.
Yeah.
Right. How about we could say something about we want to consider town resources, or something to that effect. I know what you're saying. So we want to balance it with the fiscal constraints, which we're all very familiar with. I know you are, Sherry, because you hear from Larry all the time. So how about something like that? What did I just say? While, what did I just say? I forgot what I just said. Being sensitive to the, recognizing fiscal constraints, something to that effect.
Yeah. That was just the key words that stuck in my head were, economies of scale. My last job, we had multiple, there was a parent company and multiple companies. There were multiple IT managers like myself, and we always, even though we were all scientific research organizations, we all did different things. But sometimes there were solutions in place that maybe didn't just benefit my little slice of that company, that might have benefited others. So I could never do anything in a bubble. I always had to consider the other.
Yes. You never.
And so I'm thinking about that in terms of all the departments.
Right.
A department may have a need, but maybe there are other departments that have the same need. So that's.
I mean, isn't it as simple as just saying and leverage financial economies of scale?
That's good. Thank you.
Okay, so, I will entertain a motion to accept the charge with the one edit. First paragraph, challenges presented, I will add, and leveraging financial economies of scale. Okay, so I will entertain that motion, accept the charge with that edit.
So moved.
Okay. Second, anybody seconding the motion?
Second.
Thanks. All right. Aaron, second. Okay, roll call.
Barth, yes.
Goldrick, yes.
Hostan, aye.
Suler, yes.
Lena's aye.
McNally, aye.
Plug eye, so unanimous. Thank you. Okay, so I will make the edit. I will accept these changes and I will send it to you to present it to the probably next week's
Yeah, next Tuesday.
select board meeting, please. Okay, moving right along. Okay, discussion on areas of interest members may wish to pursue. So let me start some of the things that I want to accomplish, and then we'll go around the room, or we'll just, whoever's got ideas, and I guess this is objectives and so forth, or some of the things we want to accomplish over the coming year. So two things that I have. One would be the Cyber Trust audit report that was completed last December, I believe, last fall. So we're not, due to the sensitive information contained in that report, which is a lot about vulnerabilities, we're not going to discuss that in open session, nor do I want to discuss it tonight in executive session. We'll save that for future meetings. I just wanted this meeting to be fairly light, reset, kind of where we're going. We'll dive deeper into those other issues in subsequent meetings. But regarding the cyber trust report, what everybody should have a copy. It was distributed back in February. If anybody needs a copy, let me know. I've read some of it, but I haven't read all of it. But my intent would be to come up with a plan, primarily working with Bob, because he's the one that's going to be implementing the remediating the vulnerabilities, I should say. So that report is broken down into high, moderate, and low, or red, yellow, green, whatever it is, different levels of risk. So has anything been done yet to address any of those issues in the report?
Yeah, we have done some of the network changes.
Good. Can I ask you to respond to me? No, I guess in the next meeting. Could you, we'll recess to executive session, and if you could let the board or the committee know what items have been remediated, please.
Okay.
And then we will talk about what's next on your list. I assume you're going from high to low, right? That would make sense. And if you could let us know what's next on your list, and if there's any cost or budget impacts. Have there been, I assume there's been no budget impacts to date?
There is going to be some additional software, which we have planned for.
Is it in the budget?
Yes.
Is it in your budget?
Yeah, yes, yeah,
Your budget?
it was, Andrew and I and Michael, we've gone over it.
Oh, good. Okay, so good. So you planned ahead. Okay, we'll talk about that at the next meeting. We'll determine when the next meeting is. Okay. That's probably the biggest item that we need to address. The other item would be the website, which is why I asked Andrew to attend tonight. So we included in your packet was some a quote from Civic Plus. Not a whole lot of details. You gotta get more information. I know Brian was the one who was kind of putting this together last year. Had some discussions with Civic Plus. Did you have any discussions, Andrew, with Civic Plus, or was that all pretty much Brian?
It was mostly me. Brian was in on like one meeting.
Oh, okay.
I've talked to Civic Plus probably three times probably
Okay.
now. Yes.
So we got a quote. We have money in the budget to do this. And I know Andrew's got some ideas about, we want to first assess what the challenges are with the website. So we want to get feedback from municipal employees as well as the public. Select Board member Lorraine Carboni is also the chair of her communication subcommittee. Andrew, what's it called?
Yep. Communication
and outreach.
Communication and Citizen Outreach Committee.
Right.
Yep.
Where her charge has to deal with trying to improve communication with the public primarily, from what I understand. So I've already let her know that we'll be soliciting her feedback and her committee's feedback. So we want to cast a wide net, right? So whenever we do things like this, I'm not the type of person that's going to be, I'm just going to look at it in narrow view, and this is what we're going to do. I believe in, casting as wide a net as possible, soliciting feedback, like I said, from Lorraine's committee, public, municipal employees. And I'm going to look for Andrew to kind of help spearhead that effort with collaboration from us. And so we want to do that, before the fiscal year ends, so the fiscal year just started, so we got a year. But we don't wanna wait forever.
Yeah, we have to move pretty quickly on it. I think end of August, we have to basically return the quote.
Okay.
Which it's not really. That's like more of the easy administrative stuff. Everything we have 4 or 5 months from there to launch it.
Okay.
So
First, the first is gonna be the collector. We can talk more offline, surveys and stuff like that, however you wanna do it. Okay, so those are the two big items. Well, actually, so I have another item too. Leveraging, today's technology regarding the Microsoft applications to help our municipal employees with collaboration and so forth. I don't want to go too deep into what we use because I don't want to expose any of the vulnerabilities. But everybody knows that I'm familiar with the cloud offerings that Microsoft has. I've already had some preliminary discussions with Bob. Bob knows exactly where we want to be, but where we want to go is going to cost money.
Yes.
There may be some cost savings with retiring some legacy applications, software, legacy applications and hardware. We will talk more about that in future meetings. So being a member of the select board, I've already started meeting with all the department managers. I've only met 2 so far, but I'm one of the things I'm asking them is what are their challenges from an IT perspective. And you guys already know some of the challenges I've had. Documents that are not, we don't have a cohesive document management process or policy. And so an easy way for the departments to collaborate too. We're using file shares, which is 20-year-old technology. So anyway, so that's another area that I want to address, and with committee's input, of course. I'm not doing this in a vacuum. And then we'll work collectively with Bob and see what is in the budget. Probably not expecting to do everything this year, but at least we identify what the issues are, the process improvements, or the new technology we want to use, and then we can get it into Andrew and Mike for future budgets. Okay? All right. So with that, I will open it up. I think I've spoken enough. What does the committee want to?
I was looking at the Civics Plus quote, and something that really jumped out at me was Cloudflare and DNS domain hosting. And my experience with Cloudflare was that they want you to transfer your entire domain to them. And I don't know if that's still the case if Cloudflare is requiring that, but if they are you ready to do that?
Yeah, I'll defer to Bob on that.
Yeah, I just noticed that when I was just reading this now, so that's a question I have too. We got to figure out exactly what they need from us.
Yeah, because it looks like they want to host all your DNS records, your MX records, all that kind of good stuff.
You see risk issues from that, or just what, or cost, or risk? What's the concern? I'm not
it's
aware.
more like being prepared for it. Because, I've worked with companies, or my company now, we looked at Cloudflare and we manage our own domain, and we don't want to, let somebody else do it just for how a product works. It's just something you have to be ready for. So making sure all the DNS records that you need are transferred, aside from www, you could have who knows how many domains, like I said, your MX records, anything like that has to be transferred into them. So I would find out if they want to be, the authoritative zone, or they want to host your zone completely, or is it just like point www.Lakeville, Mass to an IP address or a CNAME on their site?
Exactly. I'm maintaining all that now, so.
That's kind of what I figured, yeah.
Can you follow up on that, Bob?
Yep.
With the Civic Plus plan, is if we still have the option to host all the DNS records? Thank you. So, anybody else have any?
On this particular topic, right? The website, that's what.
Oh, it could be anything, just objectives.
guess the one question I have is, do the department heads, know we exist? Do they know we have that they have a resource to come to?
Most likely not. I think at the very least, they should be aware that there's a technology subcommittee at a high level, some of the things that we're looking at, hope to accomplish. But in regards I wouldn't want them coming to me directly. Andrew will let them know, I'm sure they already know, that when they're experiencing those challenges, those technology challenges, whether that's collaboration or, I mean, if it's immediate technology, they're gonna, I assume, Bob, they go direct to you when they
Yes.
got an issue, right? And I don't even know, you guys don't have a help desk, you don't have a ticketing system, they just send you an email, right?
We do have a ticketing system.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Oh, okay, I was not aware of that.
Yep.
And outside of that, if they have any ideas for ways to work better, process improvement and so forth, they will funnel those direct to Andrew. Then Andrew can bring those to me and then we'll discuss those at the committee. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I mean, we should be viewed as a resource to the department heads.
Absolutely,
I would
right.
think, right?
And I agree,
Yeah.
they should know
Yeah,
that when they have challenges, like maybe there's people out there like, oh, I hate file shares, like me.
right.
And can't find documents, and so forth, that they should bring those concerns to Andrew,
Yeah,
and Andrew will bring them to us. But, yeah, I will draft something for Andrew that he can communicate, if that's okay. But, hey, by the way, we have a new technology committee, we're here to, if you have any ideas, process improvements, challenges, outside of immediate, I mean, the day-to-day issues, that goes to Bob, bring them to Andrew, and then he will bring them to the committee.
so.
Good idea, Wayne.
So I'm gonna kind of make an assumption a little bit here, in that from a technology perspective, this town's probably a target-rich environment for us, right? That there are a lot of things that potentially could be improved or done better. And it's not really up to us to decide what those should be, but to facilitate the conversation with department heads on what that list is, right? And so, for me personally, I can think of a few things that I would like to see, but that's not really relevant, what I think. What is most relevant is what the department heads, where their pain points are.
Sure.
And so, but as a taxpayer in the town, for me personally, the priority should be security, health, and education, in that order. And if the department heads give us a list of 50 technology pain points, then, I would like to see us, that would be great if we had a list like that, and then begin to sift through and prioritize what those are and begin to help those department heads.
Sure.
So I kind of feel like we're still, other than the obvious cybersecurity stuff and things that are kind of already percolating,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we need to make sure that department heads know we're here, that we're a resource, and then begin to solicit some pain points from them.
Sure.
And how we do that.
Yeah, I can draft it. I can draft a letter.
Right.
I'll send it to Andrew, and then he can send it out to the department managers and say, hey, we're a resource. What are your technology challenges? I know you have to run, Sherry. Thank
I
you.
apologize, thank you.
We have to figure out the next meeting.
Okay. The last we had agreed when Brian was chair was the second Tuesday of the month.
Right, and I think that's okay because select boards are always the first, we read on first Tuesday and third Tuesday kind of now.
Well, today's the first Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Well, this month is, do we agree on the second Tuesday?
I don't think there was a hard science behind it, to be honest with you. It was kind of like last second we changed to Tuesdays.
We may have to go to did we say second Thursday? Maybe we could go to the third, did we say third Tuesday or second?
We had originally agreed on the second, but
We may have to go to the third Tuesday so we don't bump up again. So select board meetings used to be on Mondays and now we're all like, hey, let's do Tuesdays because we don't like Mondays.
that's fine.
So I think third Tuesday would probably ensure that we don't bump up to any select board meetings, right, Andrew?
I'll just say there's more subcommittees starting to meet, so whatever date you want to pick, you gotta pick it.
Yeah,
Reserve it.
let's go with the third, because I'm pretty sure select board, we're gonna stick with the second and fourth Tuesday? I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, there's other committees that are gonna start to meet, like economic development, town hall reuse. But that puts
Yeah.
Tuesdays as well, so.
I know, right, and obviously if we can kind of get on a, a schedule then, because booking rooms can sometimes be a challenge.
Huge challenge. Yeah, massive.
But considering I'm select board, no, that doesn't work. Anyway,
Well, if it helps any, for me personally, obviously, I don't dictate, but I can't usually do the first Tuesday because I have something that bumps up.
I don't
on
think we
those.
would
And then
do
I
that.
can't do Wednesdays. Other than that,
okay,
any night,
okay.
any evening.
All right, we'll discuss it before we convene, and I'll let you know. I'll send out an email.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Right.
Okay, so Wayne, going back to I will draft the letter for Andrew.
Okay.
Basically saying, here's who we are, we're a resource, we're here to, and if solicit process improvements and so forth. Andrew, if you want to split, because I think we've pretty much done, are we done with the website? Any additional discussions, questions regarding the website? We kind of have a general idea where we're heading. We'll talk more. So if you want to,
Yeah,
feel free.
sounds good. I'll wait a few more minutes and then split.
Okay. Anybody else have any other things they'd like to discuss regarding where we're heading?
I was gonna just mention that at some point we probably should bring in I don't know what the timeline is on the fire department building. And the reason why I say that is we here at the police department dispatch for them, and we have interfaces. And I think we should at some point bring them in to see what their needs and wants are. I'm not sure what they are as far as technology.
I could talk to Lorraine. Bob, I'm sure that was part of the building committee's discussion, technology.
Yeah, there has been, I really have not had a lot of involvement with the new station. I've had a couple of conversations with Chief O'Brien, and then there's a vendor that they're working with. I did reach out to him and I haven't heard back, so I need to follow up with him on what he was planning on doing. But that's definitely, I think there should be more IT involvement for what's going on in that building, because it's kind of an unknown at the moment.
It's bidding out next week, so you know.
We could designate a subcommittee member to represent. But the fire station building committee has already been formed. We can't just drop in at the last minute. Too late for that.
You would have to change the charge, and I don't know if they want to do that.
I mean, it sounds like there's a lot of things being discussed, different things they can do with the new station, different interfaces, different things, but I'm not sure how much of that's currently in flux. It sounds like a lot of it's kind of up in the air depending upon how things all shake out, but it would be nice to kind of get ahead of that wave so that we're not finding out that they're trying to implement something. It's like, well, if we had known that 2 months ago.
I would think at the very least, Bob, that you are part of those. You're going to be supporting it.
Yep.
You should be a part of those discussions. Don't need to be a voting member.
Yep.
But at least, so I can certainly contact Lorraine
Okay.
if you're okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather be ahead of it than
Yeah,
and try
Steve,
and chase it.
would that satisfy some of your concerns?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I remember when we were building this building, I don't think anybody was here. Bob wasn't here. And then it was last minute. No one figured in Wi-Fi for this building.
Oops.
I heard that. I think Bob, you told me that story. Yeah, I heard that story. It was kind of a novice.
And it was
site.
in the IT, guy at the time did it all himself. He was pulling wire and before he caught it right just in time. So I mean, it's just one of those things I don't want to see.
Do you remember the vendor? Was it Cybercom?
That did the Wi-Fi?
Who did all the IT stuff in that building?
Tim Graybars was the IT at the time, but he wasn't involved in.
Okay, I know the vendor is Cybercom for fire station that they reached out to.
Okay.
I guess they gave us.
Cybercom
And
does
there's
our
They do the radios.
Radios,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they gave us a big quote for like all the IT needs, I think.
'Cause there's I did talk to, had a quick meeting, I was involved in one of the meetings, and I did reach out to a vendor, it was like Safer Cities, or something like that.
Yeah.
That he seems to be trying to push a lot of IT. Now, how much of it's really relevant is an interesting question. I think he's kind of like pie in the sky on what he's talking about, but we do need to figure out what makes sense for the town.
So I haven't been involved, or I have very little knowledge about the new fire station, but back to my comment about a target-rich environment, that's definitely, something that we should be assisting on.
Yep.
And I mean, your story about no Wi-Fi, right? I mean, there should be a technology plan in place for the new fire department building.
Yep.
And it's that, and because people, what you don't want people to do is, well, we'll just throw in some Wi-Fi and we're going to network and we're good, right? There's other technologies that the fire department may want to consider, like decontamination, right? Are there technologies there that they currently don't have, but they want to think about and having the space for that?
I'm hoping the building committee, the PM, whoever is leading that effort, I don't know, that's already being discussed.
Uh-huh.
I will find out. I'll ask Lorraine.
A lot of it gets discussed within like internal type of meetings. The building committee doesn't like get into the nuts and bolts.
True, they should be, agreed, they should be
Yeah.
aware. And so I'm on the Old Colony School Building Committee, and we've had some preliminary discussions and there's some similarities, school and fire station, but, right, PM, they're pretty much outlaying what they propose, and as a building committee, we're just like, yeah, we can change it, but for the most part, we're like, yep, looks good and stuff like that. So that's the PM's responsibility. But I will certainly find out, and then I'll offer Bob to his participation to ensure that some of those, especially considering you're going to be taking on responsibility for maintaining it.
Yes.
You should have a say in that, so I will do that. Okay. The other agenda item again is the cyber trust. So we talked a little bit about that. We will talk more in executive session at the next meeting on that. And that's all I have on the agenda. Does anybody have anything else, any new business they would like to bring before the committee? Okay, so need to figure out when we would like to meet again. I know summers are rough. Everybody's taking vacation, including myself. Andrew, for August, we have a select board meeting on the 5th.
Correct.
What's the second? I don't have the second meeting. Have we not
I don't
talked
think we
about?
scheduled it yet.
Most likely it's going to be the 19th. We're not going to do back-to-back meetings.
I wouldn't think so, no.
So either the 19th, possibly the 26th, right? I mean, nobody says it has to be every other week. It's whatever we decide we want, right?
Yeah, it's whenever the select board want, they could change it.
That's select board people. That's finicky. So anyway, so we have one on the 12th. So the 19th would be the third Tuesday. Is everybody okay with?
August? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
August 19th.
My only concern is the fact that the website stuff has to be decided before the end of August, so we have to really put an agenda together for that.
Andrew, refresh my memory. What do we need to decide before the end of August?
So they gave us the quote, which is good through August, I believe. I think there's a date somewhere in
Oh,
here.
is the decision just whether or not we execute that?
Yeah, now that doesn't necessarily like lock us into exactly what we're gonna do. That's what the implementation 4 to 5 month period is.
Okay, so right. I don't see any issues with moving ahead with the agreement, right? There's flexibility, as long as there's flexibility.
Yeah, there's certain things in here I'm gonna like ask them about. This is just what they gave me the other day, so.
Okay, make sure you get the issue that
Yep.
Bob has regarding the DNS, hosting the DNS.
Did you have a contact for me to reach out to, or should I reach out to the name on the quote?
I can give you his email. It's John Pugh. It's the same guy on the
Okay,
quote.
all right.
Yeah, that's his email.
Oh, I remember. So there was a concern about meeting minutes and recording it and displaying it somehow for the public to seek and go to a certain talking point or whatever the case may be. And I think there was talks about one or two different companies, one of it being whatever the cyber.
Yeah, technology, applications that would do a better job of recording meeting minutes, yes,
So
I recall
there was
that.
concern about that with the current website and how can we implement that into what the product that they're offering now, and is there a better product that can be addressed or looked at?
Is Civic Plus, do they offer, I vaguely recall that discussion, Civic Plus offer something regarding meeting minutes?
They have like a platform where you can add minutes to, but I don't think they have I think like an AI type of, they might, let me just double check something.
I recall looking at their product offerings, and they had some sort of solution that sounded exactly like what we were looking for.
Most likely would be an additional cost, it's not scoped
Yeah.
into the current agreement.
Correct, right.
So considering the challenge we have at meeting minutes, is that something, Andrew, I mean, we should, I'm taking meeting minutes, I don't wanna take meeting minutes. I'm sure, it takes up a lot of time of Tracy and then her replacement.
Well, generally what happens with some of these committees is we have like a recording secretary that watches afterwards and can do it. Problem with the first two, they weren't filmed. So unless Brian was taking them, then for all intents and purposes, they don't really exist.
At the moment, yes.
Unless he recreates them, and then the board, or the committee then goes back and approves them. Of course, you guys can make edits to those.
Forget them. Regarding technology or applications, an application that would help with meeting minutes, that, I think there's a cost to that, obviously. The benefit would be to you and your, well, it's really for the boards and committees, not so much you. A little bit, obviously, with select board meeting minutes. So how would you want to proceed? Is that something you want to look into?
Yeah, I can look in and see if they offer it, or I know there's all sorts of companies that do it now. I don't know if you guys know the best ones.
Us as a committee can go and research those and then come back at the next meeting.
I think Bob and I were on a meeting one time, it was a Zoom, and didn't the guy recorded it, and then within 5 minutes after the meeting, we had the minutes from AI. It was
nice.
Microsoft Teams is doing that now too.
Yeah, it's
Using
literally
that
AI,
company.
they just,
Were they accurate?
they were pretty accurate, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen a few stories where like towns do it, and then it's like misspellings all over the place.
Technology's getting better. Obviously, we all know AI is gonna, eventually replace us. But, so we can certainly go off. And then for the next meeting, if we can discuss it. If we have some proposed solutions, then we can certainly bring it in. Sure. So that's committee's homework. All right, everybody got it? I'll tell Sherry.
And I just poke around to different towns' websites to see what their meeting minutes
Sure.
look like and kind of go from there.
Okay. Okay, all right, so we got sidetracked. Everybody's good for August 19?
Yep.
6 o'clock work okay for everybody? I mean, we could do it a little earlier, or I don't want to go later.
I'm good with earlier.
Would anybody at 5:30?
I could do, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm done at 4. We can do it at 4:05 if you want.
Look, I could do it at 5, and occasionally when I invite Andrew, it helps Andrew because he's here anyway and gets him out earlier. I mean, I always eat dinner after these meetings anyway. I mean, you could do 5.
Yeah, works for me.
5. Sure. I'm good with 5.
Yeah.
What's dinner?
Yeah, I know. Okay, we can do 5. I'll double check with Sherry to make sure she's okay with that, because I don't want to. Are we missing anybody tonight? I don't have a list in front of me. Who's on the
We
committee?
are, I forget her name.
Kristen Howard, right?
Oh, you did say that.
Yeah.
She's on this, I believe. Yeah.
She's the only person that's missing?
I can double check the.
I couldn't open up my distribution list. I couldn't, I don't know why.
I can take a look at that for you.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to end the meeting. I'm not very good at the chair stuff.
Second motion.
Who's making the motion?
Oh, I move to end the meeting.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Barth, yes.
Goldrick, yes.
Sula, yes.
Linus, aye.
McNally, aye.
Plug eye. Thank you. That concludes our meeting.